Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Yash and I did a 7-day wear test on the Rare Beauty True to Myself Tinted Press Finishing Powder in the shade Natural. I think I did my first impressions or not on camera, but I did the 7-day wear test of this pressed powder and my final verdict about it. If you're interested in knowing my thoughts, keep on watching. Remember to rotate your screens if you are watching this on your phone or your iPad. Have a great time. Hi guys, this is my first impressions for the Rare Beauty True to Myself Tinted Press Finishing Powder in the shade Natural. So if you're interested in my thoughts, keep on watching. I already did my face and this is where I start to put like some kind of pressed powder on my face to set it, and I heard a lot of good things about this powder, so excited to test it out. This is what the component looks like. It's very easy if you want to travel with it. This is the shade. I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit too orange, but let's see. Let me give you a swatch. In my hand it looks quite natural, so I hope it transfers natural as well. I'm gonna use a powder puff to pick up the product. Gonna tap it out and let's set our under eyes first. And it did set my under eye. I'm not sure if this is doing anything, but this is what the powder looks like. It did set it, but I'm not sure it's doing much. I'm gonna set the rest of my face now. I mean, it's a powder, but what more can you expect from it? It is setting up the face nicely. I don't see a difference. It claims to be an airy, long-lasting pressed powder that instantly blurs, mattifies, touches up makeup with light, flexible coverage that always looks like skin. I will say that it is a light coverage. I usually like a more heavy coverage setting powder, just like the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish or something like that. So whenever I look for a powder, I look for something like that, or even as airbrushed as the Charlotte Tilbury or the Makeup Forever's HD Matte Velvet Foundation Powder. When I look for pressed powders, I look for like that kind of like thick but velvety but smoothing and airy kind of quality. And this one is just, it's like a dusting powder. So if you're a more natural makeup person, then I think you would like this to set your makeup. I just prefer more coverage, so let's see. So this is what the face looks like after the powder has settled for a while. I don't know, I think the loose powder did most of the work in keeping the coverage. So let me put it to a test and see what I think about it. But for the first time using it, I'm not that impressed. So this is my day one of testing the Rare Beauty True to Myself Tinted Finishing Powder. I just did my base. I always use a pressed powder to set my face. So let's try to do that. For the first impressions, I remember I wasn't quite impressed with it because it didn't have a lot of coverage, and I'm the kind of girl that loves a coverage. Let's try it out though. So I'm just taking it on a powder puff. I think I should get a lighter color. Maybe I got a too dark color, but let's see. Okay, this is what it's giving. Let me take a little bit more. And now let's start hitting the face. I'm gonna do the half of my face first. It did mattify the face a lot. And let's do the other side. Okay, so this is what the face is looking like. It mattified, it set the foundation, and it did what it needed to do. I usually do bake after finishing this, so let's see how that goes, and I will check in with you after I finish my makeup. This is my first check-in for the Rare Beauty powder, and it's been about 2 hours. My face is just freshly done, and it does look very pretty and very matte. Blurring? No, it claims to be blurring, mattifying, airy and long lasting. I would agree with the mattifying part. Blurring part, I'm not sure if the powder is doing this or because I baked or because the lighting is really good right now that my face looks really blurred. But up close, the powder did a good job holding up, especially on my forehead. So far so good. The powders need to melt a little bit more and let the natural oils come out to see what it looks like. So see you at my next check-in. This is my third update for the finishing powder, and I am glowy. I did not touch up my makeup. It's still holding up very well. Even it's holding up very well. This is an 8-hour wear, and the natural oils settled in, and it's nice. It's pretty. It's just like a setting powder, a normal setting powder, nothing to be blown away by. So yeah, that is that. So this is the last check-in for the face powder, and I would say it held up pretty nicely. So far so good, and I'll see you on my next wear test day. This is day 2 of trying the Rare Beauty True to Myself Tinted Pressed Finishing Powder in the shade Natural, and I just did my base, and we are going to use a clean powder puff. I love these triangle ones, and let's see how this performs. I'm going to take it a lot of it actually, and then I'm going to start pressing it underneath to set my eye. I did set my eye with a little bit of loose powder just to prevent the creasing. I'm going to press it everywhere. I take a little bit more. Always remember, if you're going to pick up any kind of pressed powder on a powder puff, dab it on your hands a little bit, the back of your hand or anywhere, just to get the most nicest distribution of powder. And you can see that doing this really makes your under eye matte. Now we're going to match that to the rest of the face. I am going to use a bigger brush. So I'm going to go in with Details by Tati ES1 powder brush. You can take any large powder brush. And what I like to do is, for a powder brush, I just like to get it coated everywhere. A large powder brush has a better distribution of the powder product. So I will just work in the section and just tap it all over my face. This is a very tedious sort of process, but I only like to use the velour puff under my eyes and a large powder brush all over the face. And after covering one section, I will go back. This way I can make sure that I have the most amount of coverage. Okay, so I covered my whole face. I am going to show you something that I don't like it. If you can see, there's a little bit of hard pan going on. Even though this is just day 3, I don't like it when products do that. Even though it's very easy to get a fix, I don't like when pressed powders start doing that. My Rimmel one did. Now this one is doing the same thing, and maybe I will remove the hard pan in day 3 or day 4. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. So I will check in with you when I have finished all of my makeup. So this is my first update for the Rare Beauty test, and I've had my makeup on for around 30-45 minutes. So this is what my face is looking like. It still looks very nice, very blurring, mattifying, but it also could be because I baked. So this is what it looks like. Yeah, I'll see you in my next check-in to see how long it performs. This is my third update for the Rare Beauty True to Myself Tinted Press Finishing Powder in the shade Natural, and I've had it on for 4 hours. It did rub off on my chin and a little bit over here under my eyes and a little bit on the forehead because I was just scratching my face and stuff. So that is the reason why it's been rubbed off. I did not touch up or anything, so let's do that for now. Everywhere. This is the last check-in for the Rare Beauty True to Myself Tint Press Tinted Finishing Powder in the shade Natural, and this is what my skin looks like after 10 hours of wear. It did come off in the areas that I scratched myself, but after that it looks pretty okay. I did work out, I did housework, and I went outside to run some errands, and despite all that, my face still looks good. Even my forehead, you can see my forehead is a little bit more patchy. So far so good. I think I have to stop using product on my forehead, but because usually I don't apply anything on my forehead, I just apply makeup to my face. But yeah, so tomorrow I'll apply even less. But so far so good, and I will see you for my next wear test. This is day 3 of trying out the Rare Beauty Tinted Pressed Finishing Powder in the shade Natural, and I just did all of my cream base, and we're gonna set our face now using a new powder puff. And I'm just gonna pick up the powder, even it out at the back of my hand, and then let's start. For the rest of the face, I just like to take a large powder brush, just set my face like that. I'm just going to use some loose powder to bake my face, and then I'll check in with you after I've done all my makeup. This is my first check-in for the Rare Beauty Finishing powder, and this is what my face is looking like. I did bake with a Coty Airspun, but so far on, especially on the forehead, the coverage is still there. So let's see how it performs throughout the day. This is my last check-in for the finishing powder, and this is what my face looks like after around 8+ or 9+ hours of wear time. And I am a little bit dewy. I did touch up once underneath my eyes and a little on my chin, but apart from that, I didn't really touch up. It's just like the natural oils come out. I am very oily on the nose, like it's just an oil slick, but so far my face overall held pretty well, and my foundation did rub off around my mouth, but that just usually happens when you eat or drink. But at a far away distance, you can't really tell. On the forehead, it's just shiny, but there's still coverage, and yeah, that's it. So I'll see you at a wear test for another day. This is day 4 of doing the full day wear test for Rare Beauty True to Myself Tinted Press Finishing Powder. I just did all of my creams and concealer and everything, so now we're going to set it, a clean powder puff, and I'm going to I have used this on its own as well, just without like on bare face. If you have extreme rosacea or redness in your face, this will not help hide that. But over a little bit of concealer, this is very nice. Like it sets the way a pressed powder sets. Yeah, if you're just wearing this on your bare face, it will fade after a few hours. Okay, now for the rest of the face, I like to take a large powder brush. This is the Details by Tati ES1. I'm just gonna pick up the powder all over the brush. You can see I coated very well, and I'm just gonna press it in the area where I have my foundation. So this is what the face is looking like after it has been all set. I will bake my face because that's how I usually like to wear my makeup. So I will finish all of my face and everything, and then I will check in. Hi guys, this is my first check-in for the Rare Beauty True to Myself Tinted Pressed Finishing Powder in the shade Natural, and I just finished my makeup. Is what the face looks like. Still pretty well settled. It is a little bit lighter on this area because I do bake with baking powder, but on the forehead it's looking quite nice, especially in natural lighting. I'm just sitting in front of a big window. That's why my face looks like this, and let's see how well it holds up. Hi guys, this is my second update for the Rare Beauty True to Myself Tinted Pressed Finishing Powder in the shade Natural, and this is what the face is looking like. Pretty much the same because I haven't done much. I've just been filming a little bit. Let's see how long will I keep wearing this on for. Hi guys, this is the final check-in for the Rare Beauty pressed powder, and this is what my face is looking like in natural lighting. Not in natural lighting, I'm literally looking upwards towards the light to show you how it looks. This is what it looks like normally. So the makeup stayed on pretty well. It's still on my face. It didn't go patchy or anything around the mouth, but this is normal if you eat. You're gonna have a little bit of patchiness around the mouth, but overall, pretty good. And I only did the wear test for around 5 hours today. I did go outside, but so far so good. See you in my next wear test day. This is day 5 of Rare Beauty True to Myself Tinted Pressed Finishing Powder. And the shade Natural, I just finished all of my base makeup. So now it's time to set it. I'm going to use a clean powder puff, and I'm just taking it quite heavy-handed. I don't need to go this heavy-handed. Make sure I have no creases before I set the under eye. Wow, today the setting is so nice. So I think more powder is good. I'm really impressed. Like, look, so blurring, and this one is so wet. Okay, let me just take out the crease and let's set it. And then we're gonna use a large powder brush to set the rest of the face. I don't know, this combination today, the powder is going on so well. Like you can see that this half of the face where I set, it looks very blurry. And let's set the other half. Okay, I just finished setting all of my face. I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and then come back. This is the first check-in for the Rare Beauty pressed powder, and this is what my face looks like close up. It's set pretty nicely, a little bit oxidized, but pretty nice, very flawless and smooth for now. Let's see if this holds up. This is my third check-in for the Rare Beauty pressed powder, and this is what the face is looking like. Not too bad, it's pretty much the same. I didn't do much anyways, so check in with you later. Hi guys, this is the final review for the Rare Beauty pressed powder, and this is what my face looks like. It has a little bit of shine and grease. It's because when I went outside for work and stuff, and yeah, these are all the natural oils that came out. I didn't touch up once. There's a little bit of like weirdness going on around the nose, but pretty much very nice. If I blot off my oils, I think it will still look pretty good, but I'm just going to take off my makeup, so I'm not going to do that, and see you for another day of wear test. Hi guys, this is day 6 of trying the Rare Beauty True to Myself Tinted Pressed Powder in the shade Natural. I just did my base makeup, so it's time to set it now. Don't mind the background noise. It's just raining really heavily right now. Clean powder puff. I'm just gonna take it very heavily a little bit and then just even it out on the palm of my hand, and then make sure all the creases are smooth, and then set it. I feel like the more I'm using this powder, especially with the e.l.f. Camo CC cream, really nice. Charlotte Tilbury, but it performs just like the Makeup Forever one. Just less coverage. Set my under eyes. Now to set the whole face, I'm going to use a big powder brush. This is the Details by Tati ES1 powder brush, and we're just gonna set. And you can see, even though I had applied cream blush and cream bronzer, it didn't really hide. It just smoothened it out. So I do appreciate it being less coverage for that. So this is what my face looks like freshly set in natural lighting. So it means that this is what it's gonna give. I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup and check in with you after that. Hi guys, this is my first check-in for the Rare Beauty True to Myself Tinted Pressed Finishing Powder in the shade Natural. And this is what the face looks like. I just finished my makeup. It's powdery right now because I did use loose powder to bake, but I think we need a little bit more time for the face powders to settle in before I can comment. Hi guys, second check-in for the Rare Beauty Press powder, and this is what the powder looks like after 5.5 hours. To be honest, I've had a pretty laid back day. I've been doing nothing. I've just been reading and just staying at home, and this is what it looks like in good lighting. This is what it looks like in normal lighting. The face powder is still there. Nothing really budged or anything, so I'll continue to wear this and let's see how it looks. Hi guys, this is the last check-in for the Rare Beauty True to Myself Tinted Pressed Finishing Powder, and this is what my face looks like after 8 hours. The powder really held it together, as powders usually do, and so far no complaints, but I've also had a pretty pretty easy day, so not a lot of activity going on, so just staying indoors pretty well. So see you in my next wear test. Hi guys, this is day 7 of the Rare Beauty True to Myself Tinted Pressed Finishing Powder in the shade Natural. So I'm using a clean powder puff to powder under my eyes, and then I'm going to use a large powder brush to powder the rest of my face. And then this is what my face looks like after it has been freshly powdered down. This is the first check-in for the Rare Beauty True Myself Tinted Press Finishing Powder, and this is what the face looks like right now. I've had the powder on for 1.5 hours. Pretty well. I think for 1.5 hours you can't tell much of a difference. So I will keep on wearing this and I will let you know in my next update. Hi guys, this is the last update for the Rare Beauty Tinted Pressed Powder, and this is what my face looks like after 7 hours of wear. It did rub off from my nose because when I was cutting onions, the scent was too strong. So this is what it looks like. Pretty good. Since this is the last day, I will give you my final thoughts on the Rare Beauty Tinted Pressed Powder tomorrow, but so far, so good. I have been using it in my own time as well, and that was nice as well. So stay tuned for the final review. This is my final verdict on the Rare Beauty Tinted Pressed Finishing Powder, and I can't believe I've been using this powder so much that I had hit pan, yay me. But apart from that, at first I wasn't really impressed with it because I felt like it wasn't doing much. But the key to this is like you really need to make sure your powder puff is coated with this, and then you go in with the powder puff on your face. Make sure you don't have a crease. With the powder puff, took a little bit of finessing. With a large powder brush, it worked so well. Like it gave you instant mattifying and blurring properties, and I would say it comes off a little bit heavy, like just a little bit heavy. So if you're not into that super makeup look, you might not appreciate the effect, but I don't mind it. I would compare this to the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, but this one is much more lightweight than that in terms of feel. Is it as good as the Charlotte Tilbury or LA Girl Pro Perfect Compact Powder or the Sephora one? I would say not. I would say if you're going for a higher end product, I would still pick the Charlotte Tilbury or the Makeup Forever one. But if you're going for the drugstore, I would pick the Sephora collection or the LA Girl one because they give me like similar finishes. But that's all I gotta say for this, and see you in my next press powder wear tests. Thank you for watching, and I did this kind of content because I wanted to just share my journey with you guys in one place, because I did post this on my short form content on Rednote, YouTube Shorts, Pinterest, and Instagram. So in case you didn't catch that, that's why I made this video over here. But hope this was useful to you guys. Like this video if you liked the content. Comment below what you would like me to try next, or whether you have tried this powder and what you thought about it. Subscribe for more wear test content, eyeshadow tutorials, project pan, and book talk type of content. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.